I'm Councillor Anna Richardson, Convener for Sustainability and Carbon Reduction at Glasgow City Council. As a local authority, we have to both plan for the future of the city and deliver essential services to our residents every day. How we do both of these will have an impact on how effectively our city addresses climate change. Glasgow City Council has set an ambitious target for the city to achieve carbon neutrality by 2030. We know all too well that we can't get there alone. It will take effort from everyone. But we want to lead from the front, as a large employer delivering a wide range of services. So we're setting an example through initiatives such as upgrading our entire fleet of vehicles to electric or hydrogen ahead of 2030, and that includes bin lorries, gritters and other essential vehicles. But we also need to take a more strategic approach to waste management. Processing domestic waste through our Energy from Waste facility will offer opportunities to heat buildings in lower carbon ways, and this is a challenge we need to take on citywide to bring our carbon emissions down. So we're preparing a new waste strategy that will work alongside our circular economy route map, so that we reduce the amount of waste being created across Glasgow. The local organisations that are already embedded in our communities are reducing carbon while directly improving people's lives, whether that's by upcycling a bike, enabling them to grow or buy local food. We need to support such organisations that address local needs, provide local jobs, and ensure that climate action also addresses social inequality. The way we plan the fabric of the city, from our buildings to our transport network, can help our communities to make low carbon choices a natural part of their everyday lives. That means planning policies that ensure that new buildings are easy to heat, but also that they're embedded in communities that have amenities close by and are accessible by walking, cycling and wheeling. The 20-minute neighbourhood is a concept that's gathering momentum, and in Glasgow we're working on a strategy to do just that for our communities. We must design out private car use as much as possible, while ensuring that the alternatives are safe and accessible. This is about social justice as well as climate justice, with existing cycle networks, for example, predominantly in more affluent sectors of the city. We've been rolling out temporary cycle lanes as part of our COVID response, which has given us a chance to redress this balance more quickly than might have otherwise happened. And our communities also need a strong public transport network. We're working with bus operators through a partnership to invest strategically in that network. And we now have 26 primary schools with car-free zones around them, promoting behaviour change while also giving children cleaner, quieter, safer streets on the way to and from school. But there's still a great deal more to do. We need to very quickly reshape our built environment in both existing neighbourhoods and new ones, so that it can reshape people's behaviour and choices. But the real challenge is to significantly accelerate progress, to bring emissions down as rapidly as possible. We've seen this year that people are able to adapt quickly in a crisis. We now need to ensure that our legislation and policy making is able to react with the appropriate speed to this climate crisis.
Edinburgh has already recognised the speed and the energy that we need to deploy in effectively tackling climate change. We have, as Glasgow has also done, clearly described our desire to reach net zero carbon status by 2030. A few examples of those actions that we have taken and continue to shape include tackling transport impact through measures to reduce vehicle use, greener fleets and to support sustainable transport choices. We have either implemented or are currently shaping a citywide low emission zone, a 10-year city centre transformation process to drastically reduce car use, the development of a city mobility plan in close cooperation with our city development plan, which looks at, for example, freight transport hubs on the edge of our city and greener delivery methods into our city businesses and residents, and an increased network of sustainable integrated transport choices. In waste management, we're already powering around 32,000 homes through our joint development with Midlothian of the Miller Hill treatment plant, which converts landfill to energy. What has become increasingly apparent is the urgent need to ensure that we coordinate policy development and implementation across a number of policy areas, and that we understand better the potential consequences of individual decisions in making progress towards 2030. We have three lenses through which we view budget and business planning for the Council. They are the climate emergency, alleviation of poverty and improvements in well-being. They shape the decisions we make about our own council focus and delivery of services, including, for example, 20-minute neighbourhoods. As a council, we also have a responsibility to stimulate and facilitate actions by others. We cannot achieve net zero carbon status without engaging with businesses, voluntary organisations, education and individuals. That's one of the reasons why we formed, with the Edinburgh Centre for Carbon Innovation, Edinburgh's Climate Commission, an independent organisation which has developed a net zero carbon roadmap for Edinburgh. There is real power in these partnerships to develop progressive strategies and to bring people, businesses and organisations with us, encouraging their positive actions. We also undertake an enormous amount of consultation and engagement on key issues to help inform our decision making and to move the conversation with the city forward. We also need to examine how much room for legislative manoeuvre we have in meeting our objectives. We work together with the Scottish Government and, where relevant, the UK Government to stretch legislative boundaries to help us better deliver both statutory and non-statutory activity. One very small example of this is the current disconnect between levels of fines for unpaid parking and the parking charges that we control. How do we effect change in car use when increasing levels of parking fees results in some considering a parking fine to be the better option financially? To summarise, our council can state our clear intent to meet that ambitious 2030 target, to facilitate and stimulate actions by others to meet that goal through the power of partnership working, help shape an effective legislative environment and create a coordinated, stretching policy framework